Kia ora tātou. Kia ora tātou, me tēnei kaupapa a tātou, nāna nei tātou i tō mai, nāna nei tātou i karana, nāna nei tātou i whakakotahi mai ki tēnei whare o tātou i tēnei ata, ka nui te mihi. Ka nui te mihi ki te kaupapa e whakanui nei i te Kīngitanga, me tō tātou kiingi a tūheitia i tēnei rā. E whakanui hoki i ngā āhuatana, e whakamahia nei i roto i tēnei wānanga o tātou. Nō reira, nau mai, haere mai koutou. Kei te mōhio hoki i a hau praone, ko māhuru reo Māori tēnei. Enari ko nā kōrero e whai ake nei, kei te reo Pākehā me te reo Māori. Kau koe riri mai ki ai, ko au te karere o te rewara i tēnei wā. Nō reira, ka tika te mihi ki tō tātou reo Māori me te kaupapa i whakaritea nei e praone i tēnei marama, kia ū tātou ki tō tātou reo Māori. O tira ko nā kōrero e whai ake nei, kei te reo Māori me te reo Pākehā kia mohio mai koutou. Nō reira, ko te kai kōrero e whai ake nei ko tētahi o nā ahorangi o tēnei whare wānanga, ko ahorangi pau tēmara. Yes, I'll speak English. Our speaker today is Professor Pau Tēmara. Professor Pau Tēmara comes from Ruatahuna, and in fact he was born and raised in a dirt floor panga thatched kauta in the middle of nowhere. And believe me when I say the middle of nowhere, it was the middle of nowhere. Actually, when they journeyed in to Ruatahuna, they actually thought that they had come to a big settlement. That's how isolated he was in the middle of the Urewera forest, in a place called Waikato-Tainui. So he's come from this dirt floor panga house all the way to this institution to talk to us about another whare that he and his colleagues have established, Te Panekiretanga Te Reo Māori. And will talk to us about growing leaders in this institution. And the reason that these three suspicious-looking characters are sitting here is because they are graduates of this institution. And I think at some stage we'll put them on the spot and they'll be invited to say a few things. Nō reira, tēnā koutou e hoa mā. Tēnā tātou e te whare, o mai te paki mō Professor Pau Tēmara.
Marua e rangi e tūnei, ka marua e papai atakoto nei, ka marua ngā riki ngā kōrero ngā wānanga ka urua e te kauhanganui e putanga i te whaia ki te amarama ka urua. Ka urua mōna wa mai ai o te mga wa mai ai o te putanga o matariki mga wa mai ai o te putanga o te tupua. Mga wa mai ai o te putanga o te tauira, he tauira. Ka ake tiro mahuta ka ake rongorupe ka ake rangi tā hua ke te tauranga takutu, te mauri tū, te whiwiana kutu. Uri tia mai roto te whiwiara nei, te mauri ka whakapiki nei, te mauri ka whakakake. Te mauri e rangi ko te mauri ka apita kai waho. Ai te whaia ai te amarama tūturu e rangi whakamāua ki a tīna. Nui e! Tāki e!
Tēnā koe mataia, nā te kupu ki te wāhingaro. Kia wāte ai te kaupapa ki te anga whakamua. Tēnā koutou, kua tai mai nei koutou ki te whakarongo ki ngā pahupahu a Pau Tēmara. E te puake i roto i te kāuta. E gani i tēnei wā, kai te whare wānanga o Waikato, e ako ana, e noho ana i te wānei. Anō reira me tīmata tātou kōrero, ka kōrero hia ngā kōrero i roto i te reo Pākehā i roto i te reo Māori. Where are the men of metal? Are there old scores left to settle? When will the canoes leap to the stab and kick? The sea with flourish of pointed paddle? Will the sun play again to the skip of muscles on curved backs bared to the rain's lash? The sea's punch to war, to war. Where are the proud lands to subdue? Where are the slaves to gather wood for the fires, stones for the ovens? Who will reap the succulent children whimpering on the terraced hilltop? no more. Alas, no more. No raw memory left of these nor bloody trophies. Only the fantails flip to cheeky warlike postures and on the sand hill. Ki te whakamaoritia, e rā kōrero kai hea rā te mō ngā tangata toa, kai te toe tonu ngā mate hai rānaki, āhea te wakatūmata kōkiri ai ki te wero me te whana, te tai e parati ana, i ngā hoe mata koikoi, ka tākarua no te rā ki ngā ua e māre parepa ana, i ngā tuarā kaha e ria kāna, i te āki a te ua, te tuki a te moana, ki te kakau o te patu ki te kakau o te patu. Kai hea ngā whenua whakahi hai pāhua, kai hea ngā mō kai hai whakaemi wahia mō ngā ahi, kōhatu mō ngā hapi, māwai rā e hauhake te kiko reka o ngā tamariki, e wiwi rā i te mata o te pā tukutuku, au e kai pai rau, taukuri e kai pai rau. Ngā raumahara ki te ao kā kore o enei, ngā tohu mātahetahe o te kirikawa, ko te tī anake a te tīrairaka, he whakatoitoi no te toa, i runga i te puke one. Now, these were the sentiments that my generation felt when the god of Tūhoe, John Rangihau, died in 1987. Ka mate te tangatara, i ohorere te mate. 68 years old, ka mate te tangatara. He died before his time. He was just coming into his own. He had made huge grounds, not only in Tūhoe, but in Māoridom. He was the kind of person that we looked up to. He was our iho pūmanawa. He was the role model for Tūhoe. He was a person that we were in awe of, a man whom we considered God. Hea tua te tangata nei. He brought confidence to Tūhoe whenever he was seen on Tūhoe marae. And now that he was gone, there was this feeling of despair. Ka pōuri teiwi. It was this feeling of overwhelming despair that we felt, because the roost upon which the birds of the forest, that is Tūhoe, had now fallen, and there was no roost, no more shelter for Tūhoe. And when he died, not very long after, muri tonu mai tana matenga, the rest of his generation began to die off at an alarming rate. It was amazing to us, the generation down from that generation, to see the devastation that death was causing to our people. And we asked of ourselves, we asked the question, well, who is going to lead us now? Who will the leaders be? Who of the living will step up and fill the void left by the passing of that generation of celebrated scholars and leaders? These were the learned men of Tūhoe, men of integrity, men of mana, and although they had groomed us for the time when they were to leave us, we were still unprepared for leadership. Kua kore rātou. And there were a few of us who tried to take control and to step up, but they lacked the charisma and the leadership skills of those celebrated scholars. So in a short time, I roto noa I te wāpoto, there was devastation on Tūhoe marae, and a whole generation of Pai speakers was gone. And that's where you notice the difference. All these speakers had gone. All the learned, the people who were able to put together words were now gone. And you have to remember that in Tūhoe at that time, there was still a majority of Tūhoe who actually spoke the Maori language, who could actually, and spoke it well. But speaking the Maori language and speaking the language of every day and transferring that knowledge to speaking on the paepae are two different worlds. Te reo ōkawa me te reo ōpaki. The language of every day, koe rā te reo ōpaki. The language of the paepae is a language that is not spoken every day, that is reserved mō ngā paepae. So, this generation of speakers were gone and we were left devastated. Ānea no te whenua. Ānea no te whenua. Now, at that time, and as academics with a collective experience of many years, Timothy Karetu, Wharehuia Milroy, and myself decided that we had to revive the tūhoi wānanga korua that Rangihau had been responsible for, and which he initiated from 1963 to his death in 1987. Nā te tangata ni I tīmata e rā wānanga. And he was well before his time when he decided that that was what he was going to do. He noticed that the generation above him were about to face demise, and then he decided that he was going to interview them, and while they were alive, he was going to carry out these wānanga of tūhoi, and when the time came for their passing, tūhoi would be imbued with the knowledge of tūhoi. Koe rā nā whakaaro o te tangata nei, o te tipua nei. So we were part of his group. We were part of his cohort of students. In fact, he liked us because we could write. And we could write things, we could be his script writers and record the wānanga, ki te tuhi ngā wānanga a tūhoi I taua. And those were halcyon days, he wā e rā, e tuana ngā wānanga nei, I tēnā wā, I etahi wā, e whā ngā tūnga o te wānanga I te tau. Mai te 1963 ki te tau I mate ai aia. And we learnt a lot. We learnt a lot. And one of the things about learning, you see, is when you write things down, you tend to remember those things because you wrote it down, although you were just a script writer. But you tended to remember things that you wrote down. And so we had an advantage over those of tūhoi who could not write, like Professor Rangi Mātāmua. Anyway, we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves, and we were so glad to be part of his students. The program that Rangihau undertook he kaupapa pai, he kaupapa marama. I taua wāra, when he undertook the program, that time in the 1960s, 1970s, we were facing the end of the move, the shift from the rural areas into the suburban areas, into the cities. There was a huge move. And once you move from your base, ka neke koe mai tō iwi ki ngā tāone, what tends to happen is that everything that had to do with your iwi, you tended to leave behind. And you tended to create a new life for yourself and a new culture for yourself in the cities. That's exactly what happened to tūhoi. But there was also the view at that time, and the fact at that time that many iwi were beginning to lose their language. Language was becoming a problem for many iwi. And tūhoi was considered at that time to be the barometer by which iwi could measure whether their language was still alive or whether it was on the way towards demise. Now, you could measure how you were doing. If tūhoi was in a good state, then you could safely say that the rest of Māoridom was in a good state. If Tūhoe was in a bad state, then you could safely surmise that the rest of Māoridom would be in a bad state. It's not like that anymore. But that's how reo and the health of reo was measured in the 60s, 70s, and moving into the 80s. So, here we were in 1987, tokotoru mātau ko au ko te whare hui ko Timothy Kāretu. We put our collective heads together and decided that we were going to do something about this, about perpetuating and carrying on the good work of Te Rangiho. We were going to continue with the wānanga of Tūhoe, and we did. But because Tūhoe was in a good state as far as language was concerned, the nuinga o Tūhoe kōrero Māoriana, we decided that we would concentrate on tikanga. We would concentrate on those things that had been affected by the passing of that generation of speakers. And that was whai kōrero and karanga and tikanga. We decided that that was the area to concentrate on. And because of the three of us, Timothy was the doyen of the Māori language, he decided that we would carry the flag while he stood to the side and watched with glee. So in the early 1990s, the three of us revived the wānanga koro of Tūhoe. And as I said, that was left to Wharehuia and me to do. The wānanga were held in I roto o Tūhoe, and also in the pockets where Tūhoe lived in the different cities. So we moved to Auckland, Waikato, Rotorua, Wellington, the East, Hawke's Bay, Palmerston North, and even the South Island. And that was the extent of the wānanga that we held to perpetuate the knowledge that Rangiho had so wonderfully initiated years before. By the early years of this century, Tūhoe were equipped to hold their own hapu or district wānanga and able to discharge their paipai obligations. And that's how it is today. Kua o tia mātou te whakatakoto, te ako, ia Tūhoe, kia tahuri rātou ki te ako ia rātou anō, ko ngā akoranga a mātou kia Tūhoe, nā ngā mea iako nai mātou iako ki ngā whakatipuranga I raro iho. And now the different pockets of Tūhoe, different districts of Tūhoe hold their different wānanga. Now, kua kore he mahi mā mātou. We had nothing to do. In the meantime, while this was happening, Timothy Kāretu, who didn't have anything to do, was busy talking with the wānanga o Aotearoa about a program. And the program that he had in mind was getting together groups of students and taking them from their level of understanding and knowledge of the reo Māori and moving them many steps up to a level where they could become the leaders and the keepers of cultural obligations on their marae. So, ka puta te pātai. How did the Panekiretanga begin? And that's how it began. Timothy initiated an interview with Rongo Wetere, and Rongo thought that the kaupapa, the request was good, and so he allowed us to begin the program. And the program was given the green light in 2004, and the Panekiretanga began in 2004. Koinei mātou, this silly old goat over here, on the right, that's Wharehuia Milroy. The other old goat in the middle, that's Timoti Karetu. And of course, I'm the sitting professor. So what is the significance of the name? What is Te Panekiretanga? Where did Panekiretanga get its name? Well, the name Te Panekiretanga was suggested by one of the inaugural students, now Dr. Terita Papish of Waikato, Ngāti Pro. Now, Panekiretanga is a prominent feature of nature on Waikare Moana. It talks about the head, the pane, and the kire, the crown of the head. So it doesn't take too much imagination to wrap philosophy of high endeavour, of reaching for the, as Timoti put it, apotheosis of reo and tikanga around it, the high level standards of reo and tikanga around Te Panekiretanga. And then you have the Institute of the Maori, of Excellence in the Maori Language, Te Panekiretanga o Te Reo. And that's how that name began. And it's caught on, and many students of the Maori language are now using that term, Te Panekiretanga, to suggest reaching for higher levels of attainment. What are the aims of Te Panekiretanga? Well, the aims of Te Panekiretanga, ko te reo kia tika, ko te reo kia rere, ko te reo kia Māori. And we can't claim that this whakatauki, this axiom, is the prerogative of Te Panekiretanga only. It's also entrenched in Te Kohanga Reo and entrenched in other Māori language learning programs. But that is what we live by. And when we analyse what that means, ko te reo kia tika, ko te reo kia rere, I think those two phrases are clear enough. Ko te reo kia Māori needs a wee bit of explanation. For Te Panekiretanga, it's not enough that you take a non-Māori idea and translate it. It must be a Māori idea in the first place. So we don't look favourably on constructions that are prevalent at this point in time. Constructions like, at the end of the day, I te pito te rā. We think that it's not Māori. It's only a translation of a Pākehā idea. I te mutunga rā o te rā, at the finish of the day. So we think that we assert that the idea must be Māori in origin. Me Māori te whakaaro, me whakaaro Māori. Ka ua e whakaaro Pākehā, ka tahi ka whakapākehā I ngā kōrero Pākehā. He whakaaro Pākehā ke tērā. It doesn't add growth and development to the language. Anō reira, koe rā te tikanga o tērā kōrero. There's a question. About how does one get into the academy? Well, with difficulty. It's not an academy that's open to everyone. And I might get Professor Matamua to talk about how you get into the academy.
By buying lots of shoes. Mine, I've got about 20 pairs of gumboots. There is a misconception commonly that our ancestors weren't exclusive in the way that they taught their knowledge. So knowledge wasn't open, not all knowledge was open to everyone. This idea that elitism isn't a Māori thing. Elitism is not. Not everyone went to the wharewana. Not everyone did the gardens. Not everyone did certain jobs. Certain people, due to their whakapapa and their abilities, were selected to be taught various things. That's how the height of knowledge was maintained. It wasn't dumbed down, it wasn't lifted up, it maintained at a particular level. And you were hand-picked and hand-selected. And that's a philosophy behind this program. I'm not too sure why the shoes are in there. But the idea is to get into Te Panekiretanga, you need to be selected. You need to be acknowledged as a speaker of Te Reo Māori and someone that has the ability to make the grade, I guess, and then you come into the institution. It's very much like a traditional whare wānanga. Ka tohua koe e te tohunga. I te mea, kia puta koe i te tohu, i te whare wānanga, ka pātai tētahi no hea tō tohungatanga, ka mea koe, ko mea te whare wānanga, ko mea te tohu. Ka pai?
The picture of the shoes. If you study the picture of those shoes, you find that they are high quality shoes. There's no cheap pair of shoes in there. These are Italian shoes. They are Italian shoes. And there's about 30 pairs of Italian shoes in there. What that suggests is that when you come out of the Panekiretanga, you are expected to be your own person. In other words, you must contribute to the development of te reo, contribute to the development of new knowledge. It's not good enough in our view. We assert it's not good enough for you to step into the shoes of someone else. Buy new shoes. Buy new shoes. And that's what that is trying to suggest. So it's difficult to get into it's not easy to get into the Panekiretanga. Herite ki ngā whare wānanga. You just don't walk into a whare wānanga. You have to make application to get into whare wānanga. And it's a lot more difficult to get into Te Panekiretanga. First, you must have a standard of reo. In order for a student to enter Te Panekiretanga, they must be recommended. They must be a recommendation of an ika āwhiro, or of someone who has already done the course. And it is their responsibility when the student fails, because they have recommended someone who was not fit to be in Te Panekiretanga. So the entry standards are very high. But it's not to say that there is not a lot of people flocking to Te Panekiretanga. For this intake, there were 174 applications to move into Te Panekiretanga. We selected 35 of that 174. And all of the 174 were quality applications, but we stuck to the standards and the assertion that they had to be recommended by past students. He pai tērā. What impact has Te Panekiretanga had on society? Kai koni ngā tamariki. O ngā kura, te ahua nei he kōrero Māori rātau, ka mutu iau i whakarongona ki rātau e kōrero Māori anga. Ka rongoa i etahi whakatakotoranga, i etahi kupu e whakahuahua tia nei rātau. Ka mutu ko ua kupura i puta ake nō roto i Te Panekiretanga o te reo. Nō reira, he pēnei te whakaaro. If you create a standard of language, and you pitch it at a high level, sooner or later, if it's worth something to the listener, to the student, they adopt it. So the impact that the Panekiretanga has had, it's had impact in ngā manu kōrero, and we know that because we are judges of ngā manu kōrero, and the students of the Panekiretanga are judges of ngā manu kōrero, these people who are sitting here. And we look at one another knowingly and think, yes, we know where that comes from, or that's a development, and we have no problems with that. That's why we do these things, so that it has an impact. So it's being used by the schools, and that's where we know that we are doing the right thing, when schools begin to use it. When kura kaupapa Māori begin to use that kind of language, words like iti pakotia au, we think, oh, that's really good. And then we move into the area of the media, and one of the best messenger that we have of Te Panekiretanga is Scotty Te Manahau Morrison. As soon as he came out of learning of Te Panekiretanga on the Monday, he was using the words that he learned from Te Panekiretanga that weekend. And there are other broadcasters and media people who are using this strange language. Oh, and then of course there's the matatini. Yeah, there used to be a time that if a composition was written by Timothy, myself, or Te Wharehuia, for Te Matatini, for a group in the Matatini, that composition would win. That composition would win. Well, not anymore. It doesn't happen that way anymore. In fact, our students are now making a huge impact in the composition for Te Matatini. And what we have found in our research is that if you don't move into that area, as we call, and we term that area Te Panekiretanga language, then you tend not to be successful in Te Matatini. That's what we are finding, that's what the research is showing. So it's had that kind of impact. Have we had detractors? Have we had critics? Of course we have. And that's what makes what we do very exciting. Because if we didn't have critics, if you didn't have critics, then your kaupapa must be mediocre. But if you had critics who were talking about it and saying, that Panekiretanga language, or karite tika, if you had that kind of, if you didn't have that kind of language, then you weren't doing that well. Nō reira, ka haere ngā mahi pai, me ngā mahi whakahe anō I te taha. Engari ko te mea nui, kai te kōrero tia te kaupapa nei, e wi, e wā, e te oi, e te oa. He nui, teiwi kai te kōrero I te kaupapa nei I tēnei wā. So it's had that kind of impact on society. Let me talk about Te Arawa. Te Arawa. Te Arawa is one of the most conservative iwi in the country, next to Tūhoe. Very conservative. Very strict on their kawa, on their way of doing things, and will not relent. There has been a problem for Te Arawa because Te Panekiretanga has produced many students from Te Arawa, and they've gone back to their marae to make an impact on their marae. Now, he pono tēnei kōrero. Ko te reo kōrero noa o iara, he reo kōrero noa tērā. Ko te reo manga o tēnei mea o te reo Māori, ko te reo ōkawa. Ko te reo o te whai kōrero. Koira te reo manga. E hara ko te reo kōrero noa. Engari ko te reo ōkawa, ko te reo o te whai kōrero, ko te reo rāne o te karanga. Koira te reo mana, whai mana. Me he mea ki te haere koe ki tō marae, ki tētahi marae rānei, ka tū mai ai tētahi tangata, ki te whai kōrero kia koe, ka mutu kai te he katoa ngā kōrero, he tere tātou te Māori ki te ki maumau tātou hara mai ki te marae nei. Kia riro tātou mā te tūtūā, kia riro tātou mā te kore mōhio e kōrero. He tere tātou ki te ki te kōrero pērā. Engari, ko te mea ka maumaharatia e tātou, ko te whai kōrero i pā ki o tātou ngākau, i pā ki o tātou tarina. Anō reira, koira te reo mana. So, what are we producing? We are producing leaders who can lead, who will lead from the front, who will lead from the pai, and this is not new. He pērā te āhua o tātou tīpuna. They could lead, they could get up and speak on the pai, they could also go down to Parliament and debate there. And I'm talking about the period in the 19th century, where they could go down and debate those things. They knew what was happening. They could communicate at different levels. And that's what we aim to produce, leaders who could do that. Ko te mate hoki in our research is that people that we have on our pai in the past, their area of influence is only the pai. Ka mutu te whai kōrero, ka mutu te karanga, kua mutu. Kua mutu. Ko i rā te rohe o rātau mōhiotanga. Engari ko tā mātau e whai nei kia whānui ake te mōhio, and we have produced that. We have produced that. Now getting back to Te Arawa, we put to them that they must start to use their youth, that they must suspend their tapu practices, because we can't afford to be selective about who we put on our pai, because there aren't anyone that we that are there. Kua mate ngā kai kōrero o te rau. And how do you mitigate that? That is by suspending your tikanga. Te kōrero a tētahi o ngā tohunga a hohepa ke reo pai pēni ana nā. Whakairia o tikanga, ke aurai o tikanga. Suspend your tikanga so that your tikanga will survive. And that's, they thought about that, nā kaumātua nei a te pōroa mā, they said to us, no, kore. But after a while they came back and they started to say things like, you know what you were saying? I think you're right. And what has happened now, in that most conservative of iwi, you now have Te Manahau, Scotty Morrison speaking on the pai. You now have a whole lot of Panekiretanga students being leaders in Ngāti Pikiao. You now have Mataia Kepa, who is quite a few steps down from whakapapa that allows him to speaking, because we can't afford to be selective. We have no one else. And these fellows have been taught. Women too. He pērā te āhua o te Panekiretanga. And I talk about these two gentlemen here. Kai te mohio koutou ke praone, tātou o Waikato nei, kai te mohio tātou ke praone. Me ara wāke, kua noho a praone, hai kai kōrero mā te ki. I runga i te paupau te ki. He hai pērā kai, nā te mea, kua whakae a Waikato-Tainui, he pūmana wakaitoto iai. Tō ia mai aia. Koi nei te tangata, hai hoatu mana ki te iwi. Ana he pērā te āhua o te Panekiretanga nei. And that's the whole idea of this photo here. Nā tāngata nei, ka pātai koe, he pai nā tāngata nei, ai, he pai rata. Tino pai nei rata. He pai rata. Ka tū rātau, he mea ko rātau ki te mau I te rākau, me pēhea te whiu I te patu, me pēhea te whiu I te tokotoko, me pēhea te mau I te tewa, he mea ko rātau ki era. Me pēhea te hikoi, whakahikoi ngā waiwai, me pēhea te tarapeke, me pēhea te somersault, te pirouette. Nei. He mea ko rātau ki te mahi, kia eke rātau ki te Panekiretanga. Nō reira, he mea ko hoki rātau, me pēhea te mau kākaku. He mea ko rātau ki tērā. He mea ko rātau ki te rangatiratanga. Kia rangatira te āhua. Kia kore ai e mate te iwi I runga I o rātau he. Engari, kia ora te iwi, I runga I ora tau rangatirata. Ko te pātai pēa, hea ha te hununga o te matapuninga ki te Panekiretanga. The Matapuninga is a cohort of students that were selected from Te Panekiretanga, by Te Panekiretanga, by the student themselves, by the graduates themselves, to be part of a teaching, and it was only ever meant to be a one-off teaching, and that is to teach, to learn the art of the tohunga. And they lived by the axiom, koi te matapuninga, mai angi te matapui hoiho. And the meaning of that particular whakatauki, that axiom, is simply
see the invisible, touch the intangible, do the impossible.
And that's all it is. If you aspire to be a tohunga, you had to have a belief that you could achieve the impossible, that you can touch the intangible, that you can see the invisible. You had to believe that to enter the tohunga cohort. And if you didn't believe in that, then mau tāma, e hoki ki te pīra riwai. Yeah. And that's the axiom that they live by. So they went through te kaumārua, were selected, and they went through 3 years of training. Hea te hua, these guys are doing amazing things. Tika, these fellas are doing amazing things. Kai te whakawātea makutu, kai te whakawātea tapu, kai te whakatuwhera whare, kai te hanga karakia. Koe rā hoki te matene, ka whakaaro tātou, me mautunu tātou ki ngā karakia ōmua. Kāo e karema. Ko ngā karakia ōmua, nōmua. Kāore he wāhanga o ngā karakia ōmua ki ngā, ki te āhua o nā iane. Kāore he wāhanga o ngā karakia ki te āhua o nā iane. Ko ngā, mēnā e kōrurana mō te whakatuwhera whare, heka, rua te kauminiti kua uti te whakatuwhera i te whare, nā te mea, I tino aiho ngā whare Māori. Ko ngā whare kai te whakatuwhera ngā tahunga nei tēnei wā, I etahi wā, e waruke ngā whakapaparanga. 8 stories, multi-story buildings, and huge buildings. And when you think about the practice that they have of opening houses, lighting fires, and cooking kumara, and then propelling the kumara over a meeting house, that's achievable. Because a meeting house is only so tall, you can throw it over. A kid can do that. But you imagine throwing a cooked kumara over a 10-story building. Can't do it. So, they are charged with finding ways to make it possible. Not to throw the kumara, but find new ways of achieving what our tipuna set out to do hundreds of years ago. Anō reira, kai reira rātou e rere ana I tēnei wā. He nui te whakapono o ō rātou iwi kia rātou mea rātou mahi. Nē rā matai. He nui te whakapono kia rātou mahi. Let me just recount a story to you. Ka hui te tangata nei, ka hui te taho ngā tohunga nei, me te wahine nei, e mahi ana rā watahi mā te wānanga o Aotearoa. They had a cup of tea, this woman and one of these tohunga, koe nei, te kura taiaho, kapea. They were having a cup of tea together, and this woman said to te kura taiaho, oh, you're a tohunga, eh? And te kura taiaho said, yeah. Why? Oh, my brother is sick. Sick? Yeah. You should come and do a karakia for him. Yeah, all right. Oh, yeah, I can do that. I'll do a karakia for him. All right. You come at, here's the address. You go to this address, be there at this time. So they parted and te kura taiaho ran mataia. Mataya, we have a job to do. What's that? Oh, you know, there's a sick person. You come and give me a hand to karakia, do a karakia. All right, they get into their car at the appointed time and they took off. Put their the Google map, and they were guided by Google to this address. And when they got to the address, there were the huge wall with barbed wire on top, and they thought, God, this is wrong. And they were wondering what to do when the doors opened, when these huge doors opened, and this Pākehā fella marched out, big, tall Pākehā fella, and tattoos on the face, you know, on the face. And walked out, and these guys thought, ooh, we're in the wrong place. And that's what I said, you, Mataya, and yeah. Oh, you at the right place, come in. And these fellas thought, what the bloody hell have we left ourselves? Anyway, they went in, and it was a gang. It was a gang pack. And these fellas went in. Oh, the other part of the story, they decided, before they undertook they decided to ring Korohere Ngāpo, Mohiokatuka Korohere, Aigunitana Tamahide. And Korohere, we got a job. Where? In Auckland. I'm bloody coming up, too effing long. I think I'm bloody effing stupid. Oh, all right. Okay, yeah. Anyway, these guys went, only two of them. And they get into this gang pad. And they were led by this big Pākehā fellow. They went into the bottom floor of this 3-story building, and they saw 100 Harleys, new Harleys, and all the limousines, and they were walking through. They took him upstairs into the second floor, and there was the gym, and there was the bar, huge thing, flash, and the office block. And then they took him to the top floor, and it was where the penthouse of the gang boss. And they were led to this room, and they entered the room, and they saw te Māori nei e noho ana. He pakeke te Māori nei. He might have been in his late 50s, early 60s, and he was sitting there. And these guys recognized kai te pōrangi te tangatara. Kai te pōrangi te tangatara. He was dribbling, he was obviously in a bad way. Anyway, these guys, you know, they were taken aback by what they confronted. Anyway, they started to think, wow, we better do our job. And then they asked questions, what's happened to him? And so it turned out that there was a prospect working for the Black Power down here in Hamilton, and he liked working for the Black Power, and he decided to go for a visit to Auckland, saw the Haani Te Mo Te Gang no?
Headhunters.
Headhunters. Visited the headhunters, liked what he saw, and decided to jump ship. Meantime, the boss of the Black Power here in Hamilton heard about it and rang up the gang boss of the headhunters and told him, oh, that's not on, that's not protocol. And they had a big fight, and in the end, words were exchanged, and the one down here put a makutu on the one up there. And that's how these fellas surmised what the problem was, a makutu. So these guys said, 5 o'clock, we're going to be back here at 5 o'clock. This is what we want. We want a fire going. We want 6 kumara in the fire. And the fellow said, how big a fire? Oh, just a little fire. How many bags of kumara? Oh, no, we just want 6 kumara. And that's what we want. And we want access. Anyway, they came back at 5 o'clock, and there was this fire. In a short time, these fellows had built this contraption with receptacles in it, and there was kumara. There were 100 gang members there. And these fellows went up and kamahia. They carried out the whakanua and the whakaora. They did that. They walked up to this fella, kātahi ka karakia hia e rāua, and they got there a sprig of with leaves on it, and just brushed it on the eyes of the person that was affected, of the gang boss, and he came to. He came to, and he looked around and said, what the bloody hell's going on here? And they told him what had happened and what had happened to him and what the process was. Well, they were so amazed by the work of these two gentlemen. that they were able to do that. And as a whakanua, they all marched down to where the fire was, and they all partook of the kumara that they had cooked. He whakanua tērā. And when that was over, there was an announcement by one of the members that kai was ready. They went upstairs to the second floor to the dining room, and the kai that was the spread that they had on the tables were beyond what they recognised. Well, of course, they had the hangi, but they had kai like caviar and all that kind of kai. Koe ni te mana o te. Yeah. Anyway, these guys sat down and they enjoyed their kai. And next minute there was a bang on the table. Ka tahi ka hara mai te tangata nei with this big helmet and this big kete, and they put it on the floor, and in it, nā moni. Nā moni. He purple katoa te kara. And they said, that's for you. They thought, they looked at themselves, hey, we can't accept money. We're tohungas, we can't accept money. But they also recognized that they were in a gang pad, and his muscles weren't going to intimidate them. And so they decided, oh yeah, better just shut up. And there was another bang on the gang boss, who was now good, he came over, he put his hand out, and they put an envelope in his hand, and they gave it to him. They opened it up, and it contained, well, these fellas at the end of it, they said their farewells, jumped in their car, and took off. 10 kilometres down the road, they stopped, and then they looked at what they had. All right, they divided the money, one for you, one. I roto I ngā mano tāra. I won't tell you what they were paid, but it was thousands. Huh? Te kōrero, whakamutunga a te gang nei ke rau. Whatever the hour, wherever you are, you get into trouble, we're a phone call away. Engari, the point of that story is that these tohunga were able to carry out, under duress, their responsibilities of the tohunga and bring that person back to normality. Anō reira, anei tētahi o rātau rāua e noho nei I mua I a koutou. And they lived by this axiom, koi te matapuninga, maiangi te matapui hoiho. See the invisible, feel the intangible, and believe in the impossible. Ki te kore tērā I roto I te matapuninga, ka rehe take o te kaupapa kia haere koe hai tohunga. Hea hate ni e rangi? Ko te whakaaro, ako nā whetū e nei me te whakāhua Māori, me te whakaaro Māori anei I te whare nei. Engari, ko tā te matapuninga e whai ana, kia kaua e noho tētahi mea I mua ia koe hai tūtuki ngā waiwai noi. That you must really aim high and have visions that are beyond, you might think that we are unable to do it, but if you don't have a dream, you're not able to achieve. Koe ni ngā tohunga nei. Te tangata I waenga nui nā. Ai, koe nā te big chief. Koe tahe ngā tāngata nei, titiro ki ngā tāngata nei. He pono taku kōrero. 5 of these people are doctors. 2 are medical doctors. 3 are PhD doctors. And all of them have a master's. So there's 12 people, tohunga in there, who are Master of Arts and upwards. And no reira, they come well equipped. This is a modern tohunga. He tohunga no e ni rā. And they are not restricted to their Maori world. They find ways of developing their skills in the world. They know the world. They are scholars. They are students. And they are tohunga. Ka pai? Well, he hanga whai ngā te Panekiretanga te reo. To grow young Māori leaders who are excellent in reo and tikanga, excellent in English, and contribute to the development, mana, and leadership of their iwi. Koira te Panekiretanga te reo. Koira te Panekiretanga te reo. To date, the Panekiretanga has been in progress in school for 11 years. This is the 11th year, and we've turned out 600 students into the community, and they are doing excellent work in their communities. Excellent work in their communities, and they are making an impact. Anō reira, he tāpiritanga āu praone. Boys? Nā.
Ai te iwi ho mai te paki. We have a little bit of time, so if anyone's got any questions, there's one.
Ai ahui pe te kore tuatahi proud?
Tēnā tātou, ai mihi anei ngā mihi, ai te matau atiki.
Kia ora.
Tēnā tātou, e kui mai kōroma. Ai, ki tau tēnā karere I runga I te pukamata. Kune te marae hou o te ao Māori. I nānei, ko te pukamata, ko te tihau. Ki te tērā karere I runga I te pukamata ka tukuna mai ki aru. Me rā wāke I te me nānei ko te hunga pāpāho kei te whai aru. E nui ngā pūrongo ka puta I tā rātou mātakitaki a pōhi, oira. Ko tuku pia au I te tai whanatakata ki a rātou ki a utu mai rātou I au mō ngā kōrero e riru ana I a rātou. Hoi anō ko tō pātai e te tuahine. Ko te whakatūpato pē ki a tātou e te ao Māori. I te mea ngā kaureka ana tātou ki te hangarau. E ngā kaureka ana tātou kia taka mai te mātauranga, kia taka mai ngā mea e hieri ana tātou I te wā, ka pēhi tātou I te pātene. O waia tātou ka tāmua noa tia. A tātou tikanga, mea tātou whakahae. Ana ki au kuina tete. Ākoa te whakaaro pai o taua tohungara, ka mutu taku ki te pūrongo te wiki whai mai, e nui te hunga e tono ana ki aia, e kore no rātou, e mōhio me whakawhirinaki atu ki awai. Koe nā taku whakatūpato. Ki te kaha tātou, ahako te pai o te hangarau me rāhuatanga, me tūpato tonu tātou, kei tāno noa tia, a tātou mahi tapu, me te hounutanga o ngā tātou mahi. Nore whina tētai whakaaro. Ka tukuna ki e nei, ka tere whakahe. I te mahi a te rātangata. Me pātai tātou ki a tātou, hea tā tātou, hea te whakapono o te Māori. Koe nā nō tētahi kōrero roa. E pirangi ana tātou kia whakapono tātou I ngā wā, e tāmi ana tātou I ngā wā, e he ana tātou i ngā wā, e pāpai ana e tahi ākuatanga kino. Anei tātou e kai nei te kai tangata nei, kai ware tātou ki te whāngai te wairua. Nō reira, kuina tētahi, kōrero wano i roto i tērā. Mo te hunga, ka tere toro, i nā wā i hia tiana, ka mutu ana taku whakamahi te tohunga, ka waiho anō ki te taha, waiho taku ao Māori ki te taha, waiho taku whakapono Māori ki te taha. Ka hari tēnei huera. Nā kuina anō, e tai whakatūpaka wera. Kia ora.
Yes.
Arau i roi pata. Arau i roi pata. Kore o mai ana arau.
Yes, we have to be careful about where we go with our tohunga tikanga. If we were to be serious about tohungatanga, then there must be some things, even in the context of today, that we must keep sacrosanct. There are some standards that we must abide by. I mean, I talked about the two tohunga accepting money. The challenge for them was to decide what they were going to do with their money. What they did was not for personal gain, but because of the context and the group that they were that they collaborated with and were part of the problem. They had to accept the money that they did get, but they put it to a common cause. So that's how they got over the problem of doing what they do for personal gain. Kei te mōhua, anei te tahi whakaaro. O tō mātou pāpā, o tō mātou taku pāpā, e karangatanga pāpā, he tuakana no tōkua ke pāpā. E kōrerana ke mātou, ka ki te pāpā nei, ai, tonu au e tō mātou pāpā, kia haere ki te tohunga. Kai te whakahemo tō mātou māmā. Ka hō mai tia e tō mātou pāpā, ko tahi pāu. Ka te heo ka haere ki te tohunga, ka kōrero atu i te mate o tō mātou māmā, ka hoatuhi au te pāuna. Ka tahi ka titiro te tohunga, ka tahi ka titiro atu ki aia, ka tahi ka ki, kāore i rahi. Kāore i rahi. Kāore te pāuna i rahi. Now, that was in the early 1900s. But we cut to the problem that we faced. Yes, if you are going to be true to your tohungatanga, then there are certain things that you must live by, and being paid for what you do, I think, is not one of them. For the tohunga in question, as it turned out, he didn't want to do it for money. He just wanted to tell everyone that he was available to help people. And I guess the way that he put the advertisement wasn't quite what he wanted to do. Yeah.
I rang that number and the person said, "Hello, Nick Lloyd." Kia moe
Any other questions? Pātai atu anō?
Aye.
He tāpiri no ki ngā kōrero a kou mo te Panekiretanga. Kei pōhehe koutou, ko te reo e whakaako nāna i roto i te Panekiretanga, ko te reo o tūua. Koa ko nā tohunga o te kaupapa no tūua. He tere tātou te Māori ki te whakahe i ngā whakahaere Māori a tetehi atu. Engari, ngā tawira o te whare wānanga, o e nei rā, Māma noi hoki a kūtau ki a tātou, te haere ki te whare wānanga o tāmaki makaurau, te haere ki te whare wānanga ki pōneke. Ki te ako i raro i etahi tohunga, kai ako no i hike. O reira koine etahi o nā kōrero e putāna o te āhuatanga o te Panekiretanga. Me karangahu kūtau, i tō tātou te wānanga i tū i te take o Pureora, te whetū o Hinawa, e mōhi o whānui Tiana, Amerika te kakara. Te whare wānanga tērā, i hui ai ngā tohunga o te motu, i tōna hoa. I te whāngai, i nā mātauranga i a rātou, ki ngā tawira, ki ngā pononga, tāne, wāhine hoki, i haere ki tērā whare wānanga. E hara tērā i te mea kou ki a tātou te Māori. Tō reira, ko nā tohunga nei, he tūoi. Engari e harai te mea, ko nā mahi katoa i roto e tūoi. Mo te taha ki te reo, i roto i te kaupapa nei, e rongo nei kūtau i ngā kōrero ngā pōu mo te whai te reo, o te karanga me te reo, te whai kōrero pui ngā te reo māma. Kau e pōhehe, kaore hoki te reo o te iara e whakaakona, e tīmoti i roto i ngā mai. E kōrero ana ai mo te kiwaha. Te nuingo o ana mahi mo te kiwaha. Ko te whakamahi tika i te kiwaha, i tōna wāhi, i tōna wā. E pōhehe nui, kei te ao Māori, ko nā kupu, whenei te roa, whenei te hohonu, te teitei rānei, whenei te mutunga mai o te Panekiretanga. Engari kei reira anō, nā kupu āiwi e mai mua tiana, nā rerenga āiwi, nā kiwaha āiwi. E ki ana te kōrero, nā te heke tūte me kōrero, e harataku reo i te reo takitahi. Engari ko taku reo, e reo takiti. E rongo angau, i etahi iwi, e kōrero na tātou meara wāke, no roto tūoi tērā kōrero, e rongo anau i roto Tainui nei, i nāne e tai kiwaha no te tai rāwhiti. Ko whānui ke tō tātou reo. No rea kei pōhehe ko te reo o tūoi, te reo e whakaako nāna, ko nā kai turuki o nā tohunga, tokotoru no Tainui, ko tahi no tūoi, me ngai mi maha o Aotearoa nei. No rea koe nā tu tāwhiritana ki o reo me te papa.
There is a misconception that the Panekiretanga reo is a new language. Nothing could be further from the truth. What we have done is to revive the language that are contained in our waiata, in our karakia, and give them life. And that's all we've done. That's all we've done. Ko te reo nei e hara he reo hou. Engari he reo kua wareware i a tāta. He reo kua wareware i a tāta. Ko tā mātou noho he whakauhoa ke anō i te reo. It's our purpose is not to quell the desire for regional differences in reo. E hara koe rā te mahi a te Panekiretanga. Engari, ia koe ka tū kia mātau te iwi, anō hea koe, ia koe tū maira, engari kai te kōrero koe te hohonutanga o tōu reo. Regarding whare wānanga, yes, our iwi had their own iwi whare wānanga, but there were other whare wānanga that they all iwi aspired to. So you have te rāwhioro, that students from all iwi went to. And then you have the 19th century whare wānanga, i tau rohena, a miringa te kakara, that everyone went to, that all tohunga went to. Ka me tuku ngā kai ako, no Ngāti Maniapoto, me Kīngitanga au hoki. Koi rā ngā tohu. And they flocked there to be taught by the tohungas of that particular whare wānanga. Ana he pērā no te Panekiretanga, it's it's something that we have a passion for. Language is something that we have a passion for, and tikanga is what is another issue that we have a passion for. If we didn't, kamimiti tō tātou reo. What do we think about the new language that this generation are creating? No te huri? Well, the Timothys of the world would never agree to that. My view, my personal view is that kai te kōrero Māori rātau, whakanuia. Ko I rā te reo o nāia nei. They can always come to the Panekiretanga to be taught the right language. Yes. Whai tō pātai, whai tēnā pātai. Ko te matapunenga ne, he mea whakawhaiti, it was confined to male tohunga. The Panekiretanga is open to both genders, and we saw a problem arising from what we were doing, teaching this cohort of 12 tohunga, and personally I felt that we had to address that, and so when they graduated some 2 years ago, I decided, wouldn't it be a good idea if I were to initiate another cohort of women tohunga, and I talked about it widely. I talked about it here with my colleagues at the university to see what the reaction would be, and it was favourable. And then I thought it would be a really neat idea if I could get my graduates from Te Matapunenga to help me teach that. So I called a meeting of them, this lot, called a meeting of them and said, hey, Hoama, here's a proposition. And the funny thing is, the interesting thing is, for me as an academic at the university, many of them, the majority of them were reticent. They thought, taihoa, let's think about this. And I thought that was really interesting. Where I wanted to go, they were reticent, and in fact, they had been taught to be wide-ranging in thinking, to have open minds, and here they were. That's one of them over there. But that's still in train, and that particular cohort will be known as Te Matapuihoiho. Yeah, you have Te Matapunenga on top, and the Matapuihoiho would be a cohort of women tohunga that we would get together. But I have to convince Te Matapunenga that they ought to be part of the teaching academy. And I've got a wee bit of work to do to convince them that that's where we ought to go. Nō reira, kai te kita mai koutou, kai te rere mātou ki ngā wāhi, e whakaaru ana nā whakatipurangau nai nei, ka repe i pērā. Engari, kāo, he nui ngā tohunga Māori, Aoteao Māori, o mua. Kai te mahara ake koutou o Ngāti Tainui ki tō kuia, ne? Ki te kuia, koe ni tuna ingoa? Kunaki. Ai, tērā momo kuia, kamutu, i roto i ngā hitori o tūhoe, ko ngā tohunga karakia pakanga, he wāhineke. He wāhineke. Nō reira, he aha te mataku. Ki te whakatū i tētahi wānanga mā ngā tohunga wāhine. Nō reira, he whakaro tērā kai reira tonu i tēnei wā, engari he wā tōna, ka tutuki pē te whakaro. Koe rātu chat.
Hei tāpiri noa ake, ki ngā kōrero, i te tīmatanga o tēnei taukātai mātai o te Matapunenga ki Hawaii. Ka whai wāhi atu ki ngā nuku neke o tērā iwi, te wāhi ki te whāngai i te atua nei a rongo. Te tāinga ki reira, e mahi tahi ana te ira tāne me te ira wahine. Ka mutu, ko tērā kāhui tohungara, e mea i whakaakona e te wahine. Ngā karakia katoa o tērā iwi i tuhia e te wahine. I roto i tā rātou haere ki te whāngai i ngā atua nei, he haere tahi te tāne me te wahine ki te whāngai i ngā atua nei. Tērā. Nā, he te mahara ki au i tētahi wā ka patu waia mai tētahi wahine ki au i tara wāhingia. Ka tahe te pepe. Ka mea ki au kia tai ia ki te wai i tētahi haora. Ka kimi au i te whanaunga o tērā haora i konei i Aotearoa, ka tai au ki te wai ka karakia arorangi a hau ki ai. Nā ko te pātai roto i tērā ko te wero hoki, tērā e tahi wāhine, ka ore he tāne i roto i tōna ao. Ai te pirangi ia, ki te tūwā, ki te tohi, ki tāna tamaiti. Nā, me pakai, e tahi o tātou tērā hia, o te māmā, kia tia kina, kia mori tia, kia manaki tia, tāna ki tamaiti. I te mea ko te ao tēnei ahi nei tātou ki nei a pau, kei te rere hoki te ao. Nō reira, heha e tahi titonga, e tahi takutaku rāne, e tae e mātou te tito, hei āwhina i te rahunga. Nō reira, nā o tētai pauna mu te kāro tērā ki ata.
Yeah, so that was a very good question. Yeah.
Kia ora tātou. Kua mutu tēnei wāhana e karema, mō reira kai te au te mihi ki a koutou. Tua hene ka pai ko pātai, ngā poi o te aroa nā me whakahei tērā. Kua tina tātou e hoama, enari kei konei tētahi pirihana pō, kara mai.
I mai te mutunga kia mihi a keu ki te makau ariki. E kui nau mai, karangatira i a koe te kaupapa i tēnei rā, koutou ko Otamariki, koutou hiki ngā kui ao tainui nei tēnei te mihi a kene kia koutou, ka kua te ngākau watai mai koutou tēnei rā, nō reira ngā.
Tēnā tātou i tīmata te kaupapa nei, te paiheretanga o tātou whakaro ki te āwhirangi tēnā ki haki tātou ki reira, e wātea i tātou i te tapu e nei kōrero. Uka ki auka te uka kaha te uka ngai tapia ki te maratu hau a tēnei rua nuku whitikiria ki au, whitikiria ki amai. E iho mai te tūmatakahu ki o te ahunuku o te ahurangi ki a rapa ki a riwhatau ki tātui koro ai, uka ki auka. Ia marama ki ngā ki te kōrero o te whare maka te auka. Ia mōhio ki ngā ki te wānanga o te whare pōrukuruku uka. Ia pūrangi aho ki ngā kurahuna o te whare wānanga uka. Te tia tēnei rua nuku tēnei tama tēnei tauira. Hei te rangi whirikoka ki te rangi maa yo ki te tāhuhu nui o rangi ki te iho nui o papa. I te tuahua tāne uka kia uka. E kui mai koro mai te pō whakatata mai ki tēnei ki tā koutou tamai tiki tō koutou mōbu. E tute ake nei a koutou kia tatamai ai koutou kia mātai i tēnei rangini. Mana ki tia tēnei, i putai aia ngā kauhau, mo te tapu o tua whakarere. Tēnā kia tai te mauri o enei kōrero ki ngā taringa o te iwi tēnei kua tatamai ki roto ki aia, i roto ki tōna whare makatea i tēnei rangini. Ngā tapu kua whakatakatoria e ia ki roto ki tēnei whare, ki runga ki tēnā, unuhia, ngā tapu nui ngā niho, o e rā tapu rā kia putai tēnei iwi ki te whaia ki te ao marama, kia putai rā tau ki te taha tika ki te taha wātea, ka tūturu whakamaua ki a tēnā. Oi e! Kia ora tātou.